Good morning. This rant ain't going to be long because the more I talk, the more I get in trouble. But I'm happy. I'm happy for gamers. Told you they want to fuck around and find out. Well, you messed around with nerds. You called us names, and we're shutting down the DEI and ESG agenda in video games even before these games get released. So this was kind of the response from gamers, because you want to mess with nerds. See, here's how we are. We don't have to play your triple A game because you went out and got some ESG money and you want to vilify white men. Because gamers and people that are serious about gaming, first of all, your games are pieces of shit from a technical and gameplay standpoint. All right, there's a reason why dungeon masters are hired to write games for RPGs. I got a feeling that you were kicked out of the development of Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3 because that was not written by. Because Larian Studios hired real dungeon masters. And one of their lead writers in that game is an Asian woman. So they probably couldn't do the diversity bullshit. And look how good Baldur's Gate 3 is. The point being, you make games that people want to play. They will fucking buy them. And not only will they buy them, you will make more money than Larry Fink is giving you with ESG because when your studio is closing down and you're firing all your employees before a game even gets released because you spent 5 years developing it, well, good for you. Stop catering to, and so basically, gamers, this is the response.
You have no power here, Gandalf.
So yeah, and they are freaking out. It's not just video games. Libs of TikTok just shut down a Planet Fitness because I'm not even going to talk. There was a transformer in the bathroom or something. I don't know if you heard that story. Everyone who wants to embrace wokeism, and let's be honest, you're actively engaging in racism. All right, it doesn't make it any better. Well, you want to call people names? We just boycott your shit, and we'll see how that ESG works. Let me explain what happened, and then we're going to talk about the movie that came out, the Brotherhood of Magical Reptilians, and I'm going to give you I'm going to give you black people some fuel to throw on that fire, that dumpster fire of a movie. I'm going to tell you something. Another way to think about that movie title, which should actually piss off black people, because they want to start calling people names. They want to start, doubling down on their fucking trolling. Well, I'll tell you how to respond to that because basically saying that, yeah, we'll talk about that. Let me not spoil that. If anyone knows where I'm going with that one, do you know the source of magic? Yeah. So anyway, here's the game here. Plan release 2024. Here's another female. And listen, it is not just female protagonists. There are companies already calling out their bullshit for that, and those companies are selling so many fucking pre-order games. There are game developers in South Korea doing what people want. They are making games with sexy female protagonists. Gee, like what we had when I fucking grew up in the 80s and 90s. It ain't nothing new. These games are selling because they're giving. There's just another game that came out, Helldivers, Pal World. These are games by smaller studios who are going to make bank because they're giving people what they want. If I'm spending 1,000 hours in game, and I can show you my Steam profile, I do. I am not looking at ugly fucking characters. Period. You want to know why Baldur's Gate 3 sold so well and so many people are playing it? Because all the characters in the game are attractive. It's no secret. It's you know, so it's no secret there. I told you there's something else actually going on about this agenda, and people are catching on to that too. So yeah, the devs on this game, they released the trailer, and it's DOA, and the developers are freaking out, and they locked all the Steam forums. They're deleting posts. We don't even know if Sweet Baby Inc. worked on this game. but it's definitely woke, and they're not the only consultation firm out there. So this game is more or less dead on arrival, and I don't feel bad for these developers. I worked in sales for many years. There's no bullshit excuse. You got to have a product your people want to buy first before you sell anything. All right. Yeah, as a white male. 63% of the population of the United States right now is European Caucasian. So, if you want to make all the white males villains in the games, fine. And you vilify them, good. We don't want to hear you bitching when only 1% of the population that you're catering to buys your fucking games. You're not going to stay afloat as a Hollywood studio, a AAA game developer, a Fortune 500 company. Hello Planet Fitness. Yeah, the Bud Light effect all over again. And here's where things are really getting interesting here. They're not getting the responses they thought they were. They thought people were. And do you really think when Orange Man, if he gets back in office, is going to bail these corporations out? I don't think so. Maybe that's what they were banking on. Oh, well, we got to have an ESG bailout now. Because, yeah, whatever. I don't think that's happening. Black Rock and Bob. Yeah. So I'm proud of gamers. Um, Gamers are people that, yeah, they will play older video games. They're not going to play your woke shit. No one's going to force us to. And they've doubled down and just started calling everybody names. And here's the fucking sad thing is even people that are speaking up against this game are being called Orange Man supporters. Like, is that what everything boils down to? Use you don't like a game, you must be a whatever. See how that works out for you too. Most nerds ain't too political when it comes to shit like that. Uh, the the main reason they want to play video games in the first place is to get a break from politics, not have it shoved in their face. So, in order to not get banned from the forums, the nerds are resorting to something else, which is cool. They're actually saying good things about Sweet Baby Inc. Why? Because that's how you troll. Oh, you want to shut down threads that are saying bad things? Well, here goes a troll. We put all good things on here. I can't stand heterosexual men. Can't stand racists, bigots, ableists, trans, homophobes, misogynists, conservatives. Fuck Trump, by the way. Yeah, this was a troll post. Someone actually here saying good things. Well, they're shut down. And this not only this goes for Hollywood movies too. Let's talk about a recent flop. Black people, and why you should be upset about this. The American Society of Magical, yeah. So, what's the issue with this? Well, I'm not beating around the bush and I'm not going to bullshit to you about it. Magic, as defined by what it really is using the assistance of demons to enforce your will on Mother Nature. So, by this title alone, you are saying that the only way that black people can deal with white people is by resorting to the power and assistance of demons, which will more or less condemn their souls to hell. Now, I want to know how black Christians feel about that. Yeah, that's the real source of magic, as defined by Aleister Crowley. So you want to double down on calling people names, and well, like I said, the truth doesn't require your approval, and that's what magic is. There's only two definitions of magic. The other definition is guy who goes on stage and does tricks. That's not the magicians they're talking about in this movie. They're talking about people who, as per Aleister Crowley, can enforce their will on Mother Nature herself. And this movie flopped. The American Society. Yeah, a secret society. The Prince Hall Freemason? Is that who the movie's about? Well, guess what? Prince Hall Freemason used the assistance of demons in occult ritual. I already know that one. Yeah. Anyway, that's all from my rant today. If you could support the channel, that'd be awesome. I always need cigarettes. I can't get into too much detail on these subjects because they're getting mad on the other side. They know their shit's coming to an end. It's going to come to a swift and ignoble end. The only thing I'm worried about is after 5 years of censorship, that once the pendulum swings back, the right is going to be a little hostile. But you can only be called names for so long before people have had it. So boycotting is a powerful weapon because socialism only works. You know, they basically steal other people's money or steal other people's IPs. Um, and at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself a real big question: why is South Korea not embracing ESG and DEI? I'll give you a little hint. They don't like China. They are not going to weaken their military with. So really, who's behind the same people that want to disarm you? I'll give you a clue there. So that's all from my rant today. I'm so proud of gamers taking the high road. Call your names all you want. We're boycotting with money, and it's working. And they are freaking out, and they're trying to get the government involved now, which is pathetic. Saying that there's extremism in games, and a lot of gamers tend to be pretty intelligent. Elon Musk, I don't care what you think about him, but he is a gamer. And in case you obviously haven't figured out, Elon Musk is probably also a hacker. You want to really know why they're coming after gamers? They have an amazing ability to spread information on the internet. They have spent years taking down questionable websites on the dark web with some very sick and disgusting people involved in them. And they get no accolades for that. In fact, one year, the Anons took more CP websites out of business than any of our law enforcement agencies did. Yeah, think about that one. And when it comes to the internet, these people can't hide in the shadows. It doesn't exist. Most of these people didn't realize that tweets they put out 10 years ago could be recovered. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're gonna, like I said, any black person should take this as a negative towards. You were saying literally, you need to utilize the assistance of demons. Yeah, some bullshit. You know, it was a trend for many years in Philadelphia with black men dating white women. Just saying. Yeah, look at the Kardashians. Fucking whatever. Anyway, you know what? Another story hit about Kate today. I gotta go pull it up and see what it is. I think it's another damage control story. Yeah, no one's believing that pic. I went back and looked at that pic. That is not her. It looks all right. There's a reason why I said it looked like Jill Biden. It's got a same thing going on. Wink, wink with these woke video games and their quote. Now we all know that female protagonist is bullshit. You want to know why? As a sci-fi and fantasy nerd, we love sexy women. Stargate SG-1, one of my favorite sci-fi shows. Do you know who's in that? Amanda Tapping. Yeah, she was smart. She was sexy in that. She was a strong, independent woman. She was a naval officer in that. Um, Air Force officer, naval. Well, you get the idea. Awesome. You know, there's been so much diversity and shit in movies and games. It's not what they're saying. So people are calling that bullshit out. What do you mean we don't like women? Are you out of your mind? No, we like attractive women. So this is where their agenda starts falling apart because people ask simple fucking questions. They don't get straight answers, and none of it makes sense. Like, yeah. What's wrong with the male gaze is bad. Really? It's Yeah, it's in human nature. It's a mating instinct, okay? It's embedded into our DNA. You know what isn't embedded in our DNA? Racism. Tower of Babel. Do I got to redo that lecture? That's where it all starts. Everything goes back to Babylon and the reptilians, period. And this division amongst people, it's a modern day Tower of Babel. That's all it is. Um, Wokeism is coming to an end. The pendulum is swinging back. People have had it. And like I said, it's become so pathetic now. Anybody who doesn't agree with your agenda is resorted to be the N word or Orange Man supporter. You want to know how not to offend people when you work in sales? Because I learned this as a salesman. Never talk about religion or politics because you never know who you're going to offend. Well, you don't talk about religion that much. I wonder why. But politics, pushing that into everywhere, it's not going to work out well. That's one of the rules of being a good bartender. Never talk about religion and politics. I was taught that by one of the best bartenders I've ever met in my life. You stay neutral. People come there to forget their problems, not be reminded of them. Anyway, it's all from my rant. I'm so proud of gamers. They're shutting these studios down. Imagine, imagine you just dropped a trailer for a game that you've been working on for 5 years, and people are already boycotting it. It didn't even come out for release yet. Good. You deserve everything you get, AAA devs. Maybe you should have thought about your customers first. Yeah, you're going to find out something real quick, too. Larry Fink and BlackRock could give two shits about you. In fact, I think that there's a more sinister plan in play here to scoop up corporations for pennies on the dollar after they bankrupted them all so they can make their mega corporation in the New World Order. What do you think Blackguard and Van Rock are really trying to do? Yeah, they want one corporation, one world government, one corporation running everything. There will be no competition. Monopoly, yeah, and then we'll see how enthusiastic you woketards are when you're sitting on the same trains as we are going to Camp FEMA for your re-education. But they thought I was special. Yeah, right. Yeah, do I got to replay this part? This is
You have no power here, Gandalf.
why did Gandalf have no power here? Because he's white. Don't answer that. I was going to say something a little racist there. Gandalf the Grey had to turn white so he could beat Sauron. All right. Nah, Peter Jackson, greatest movie, one of the greatest movies ever made. You know why Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings is so good? No political messaging. All right, he stood by the source material. Look what Amazon did to Lord of the fucking whatever they did with. I won't even watch that piece of shit show. They said they spent $1 billion producing that. Oh, that's the other thing coming out with Disney now. Questions about accounting on the books. How are you spending $300 million on movies that are flopping? Is there money laundering going on? Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with someone yesterday on the phone that called me to see how they're doing. Mike, what's up if you're listening? And I told him this boils down to two things. People that like to interact with a certain type of lifestyle involving little people and money laundering. There's no sugarcoating shit. And we know the money laundering, that's definitely happening. All that money sent to Ukraine. All right. I've said too much. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. Gamers are shutting down the wokeism. And listen, the video games is a big industry. And some of the most technically skilled people in the world are big gamers. Don't underestimate us. And not all video games are equal. All right, there's a difference between Animal Crossing and Baldur's Gate 3. One is made for kids, one isn't. Okay, first of all. So, and they keep your mental acuity up, problem solving, critical thinking. That's another thing they want to kill. Any questions or comments, leave them below. God bless and take care.